Hey guys, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel, and I am so excited today. We are going to play with really high-end products, and I want to tell you if they are worth it or not. So this is a worth the splurge. So you want to know more about that? Hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let's do it. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Pearl by Tatcha, and then this guy, which is the Veil, and this is the Retouching Fluid by Hourglass. So, all right. You guys have heard me talk about this, I have lab samples. I'm going in this week to be doing some fun things with Tatcha for this product, so I'll be getting the real deal then, but it doesn't bother me. Lab samples, totally cool. So this is the thing. I feel like these two products are very similar in the concept, I guess. So what you want to think of is these are more of rehydrators and slight color correctors and slight illuminizers. They both have amazing skincare ingredients. This has the triple complex that is patented to Tatcha, which is a bunch of antioxidants. Some of the most amazing points of Tatcha is their patented complex, which has tons of green tea and a whole bunch of different antioxidants that are really great for the skin. So to me, this is definitely a skincare product. Now, the Retoucher by Hourglass does have hyaluronic acid in it. They both are cruelty-free brands, which is fantastic. But I have actually obviously played with the Pearl a little bit more, so I'm able to speak on it a little bit more than the Retoucher, but we'll do it all together. So the Pearl comes in 3 shades, and I initially had a little bit of an issue with the 3 shades. I'll just be completely honest. But it's not supposed to be a concealer, okay? So it's not supposed to have like 25 different shades. It's just an under eye rehydrator, an under eye illuminizer, and it's basically a prep for your eye makeup or your concealer. So you can, what I do is I use this with an eye cream and an eye serum. You do not have to. If you have a real big problem with, creasing, things like that, you might want to just use your eye serum or no eye serum at all, and then just this guy. It can replace your eye cream, but some people will still need their eye cream, but it is extremely hydrating. This is the same base as the water cream from Tatcha. So the water cream moisturizer, it's the exact same thing. So it's jam-packed with all of those amazing ingredients. It does also have an optical blurring system inside of it, so it will help to kind of diffuse any fine lines, any darkness. And the one thing that this does that the Hourglass doesn't is that this will help over time for anti-aging, firming the under eye, hydration, and basically overall discoloration underneath the eye. So what I like to do is I like to use actually, this is Moonlight, or I use Soft Light. It just depends, honestly. Moonlight for me gives me a much larger or a much brighter under eye. But if I'm just going with no makeup at all and just this, I'll go with Spotlight. So what I do is I tap just a little bit of the product. I have nothing on my skin right now. And literally I just wipe it all over my hand because it's skincare. And what this does is this will break on your skin. So you tap it into your skin and then you smooth it out, and this will break. So you'll think like, oh, is the product separating? Yes, because it's supposed to. It's just that water base formula. So basically the product breaks and then you tap it in and it turns into that great cream with just a little bit of pigmentation to just give that overall brightening effect. I have actually been wearing this. If you've been looking at my description box lately, I have been wearing this quite a bit. It actually has come on both trips with me. It came to New York and to San Diego. All right, so you can see the difference there. It's a lot brighter on one side. I have no problem with it creasing. It doesn't make anything else crease. I definitely use very little of the product. It's very similar to the Tatcha primer. A little bit goes a long way. All right, so let's go into the Hourglass Retouching Fluid. This is a little bit different. Now this is, like I said, same similar concept. So it's supposed to help brighten, color correct under the eyes, but it's really an under eye brightener. Like I said, it has hyaluronic acid in it, so it's going to plump, hydrate that under eye, but this does not take place of your concealer, nor does it take place of your eye cream. All right, so let's pop this on. And this is a little bit drier of a formula. Doesn't feel, it's like, I don't know if I could say drier. And I use my hands for all of these products because both of these products I feel need the warmth of your fingers to really push this into the under eye area and move it around. This is the color Vanilla. This does come in 6 different shades. And this, I believe, is the lightest color. And so there we go. So you can see that the Tatcha one gives a lot more coverage. It definitely gives a lot more of a brighter effect. I'll apply just a little bit more so we can get the effect here. Let me push it in with my Beauty Blender a little bit just because my fingernails are getting in the way. Let me just spread this out. So the difference between the two is they both have a skincare base, but this one is a lot drier than the Tatcha one. The Tatcha one to me is definitely more, in my opinion, for more mature eyes. But this one also you can use as a refresher to your makeup, and I'll show you how to do that. So that is the difference between the two eyes, between the two different products, so you guys can see. This one just definitely feels more hydrated, and this one just feels not dry at all, just a little bit less hydration and less coverage. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop some foundation on, and then we'll get going with the rest. All right, so foundation is on, and what I wanted to tell you, when you apply your foundation with these two kind of color correcting fluids, highlighting, moisturizing fluids, is I don't bring my my foundation up here because you don't want to have all of these layers because you are going to put concealer. Now, if you do not wear concealer, you can go ahead and put your foundation right up and over it as far as you want. But I will say that I did add less concealer on this eye than I did this eye, just for my personal taste and the way that I like my eyes to look and how highlighted underneath my eyes I like. So I do use less concealer when I do use the Tatcha product. When I travel, if I am not doing a full face, I absolutely, or when I did travel and I did not do a full face, especially on the way home, I would wear the Tatcha one just underneath my eyes and a little bit of blush, and that is it, and no foundation, no powder, and it was beautiful. So I'm assuming you could do the same thing with the Hourglass one. All right, so let's get to why, the whole reason I feel that everyone is here. And this is for the new Hourglass Mineral Veil Powder. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I have been using this religiously. It has come on my 2 trips with me, and I do not let this out of my sight. So we all know that Hourglass is a cruelty-free line. This is a vegan product. This has no talc in it. It is a setting powder. And so it has no talc in it, so it's mica-based, so that is an A in my book. So it's never gonna leave that kind of chalky, cakey, talky feeling to the skin as so many other powders have talc in them. It's also just healthier all around. Now, this powder is pretty special because it is so finely milled, but it is also translucent, so all skin types and all depths and lightness of skin tone can totally wear this powder without you feeling like it's either gonna make you look too ashy, or if my fair girls that are gonna, it's gonna sit on top of the skin. So no matter where you fall in the spectrum of skin tone, it is going to be translucent and pretty much kind of, you can't even see it on the skin. It is great, in my opinion, for normal, or I say combination to dry skin. It does have luminescent properties in it. It does have a pearl in it, but it is not by any means the same as their ambient lighting powder. So I know that's kind of confusing. It's still going to give you a more mattified finish. It is not going to give you a luminous finish, but if you are like an oil slick, this powder will be fine for you, but you might be better suited with something else that is a little bit more matte, like the Cover FX powder or the Derma Blend loose powder. So those 2 powders, in my opinion, obviously I use them, but they're better suited for oily skin. But this powder is probably one of the only loose powders besides the Cover FX one that I have been using now religiously. I used it on Holland when I was at BeautyCon. It just holds up so beautifully on the skin. It is completely traceless, which I love. Now, Hourglass did send me this, so I'm so thankful to them. They did send me their new beautiful brush, which I absolutely love. You know I love their brushes. They're very similar to the It Cosmetics brushes, all vegan, cruelty-free. So what I'm going to do though is I am going to tell you, I do enjoy this powder a lot, but it just does not give me, and this is a personal preference, it might be perfect for you if you do not enjoy a brightness under the eye, but for me, it does not give me a brightening effect under the eye. I can actually bake with this powder because since it is not talc based, it definitely does not give you that cakey under eye where it just looks dry and caked. Of course, I don't bake, but I have tried it out that way. So I have tried it and baked with it. So I just want to preface this with, even to this day, even though I love this powder, I still will set my under eyes with the ambient lighting powder. It's for me, it works. I like the way it gives the effect of a brightening effect. It's just what I like. So if you don't like the under eyes to be super bright, then you can totally use their mineral veil for setting the under eyes as well. And if you do like to bake, then this powder is something, the mineral veil powder is something that you definitely should try. But I have now been setting my whole face with this powder. And all you do, you just basically comes like this. You tap out. So let me show you how it works. So it comes in this beautiful jar. I just love the Hourglass packaging. You tap it out, a little bit comes into the cap. What I do is I take this, I swirl it around a little bit, and then I buff this into the skin with a very, very light hand. Just like this. And for me, it mattifies me just enough and gives the foundation a beautiful, beautiful finish. What I like about this is, in my opinion, you cannot overdo do it with the powder. It just, you can pack it on and pack it on and pack it on and pack it on, and it just doesn't do anything. It just does what it's supposed to. It just, evens out skin texture, evens out, sets all the makeup, all that. I can't say enough good things about this powder. It is by far one of my favorites that I've had in a very long time. So this is how the skin looks with the powder on it. You can't tell anything. I'm going to get real close. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look chalky. I love it. I've been wearing it with my Miraness Cushion Foundation as well as my Wet n Wild. I usually don't spray it with a, like a rehydrating spray because you don't really need it. It is a more hydrating powder, but you can if you want to. I might at the very end, I don't know. But it is very different than the powder, this is just a sample, than the powder by Becca, their hydrating powder. I will say that I did like that powder, but I'll reserve my judgment for the end of this. This brush is so great. I don't love double-ended brushes, I will be honest, because I like to store them flat, and double-ended brushes for me, it's just very hard to store them, whether you store them flat or whether you store them sitting up. I mean, to be honest with you, I think the brush is great, but I don't love that it is double-ended. I wish they just sold it like, 2 brushes. All right, so before we go on to blush, which I can't wait to share with you guys, is I wanted to touch on what else you can use for these guys. And same goes for the Pearl. They also are called, or this one is really called a retoucher. So say throughout the day, your makeup starts to kind of wear off, or maybe you want a matte highlight. This can go right up here and give you that matte highlight. I wonder what it'll do. I've already applied powder. Well, let's give it a go. I'm gonna do it on both sides. We'll see what happens. But you can use these as matte highlighters. You can also use them as retouchers. So you can pop it in your purse and then you can just bounce this over where your foundation has started to kind of crack and crease and show the wear of the day, which I think is cool. I really do. It's you know, it's not as heavy as a concealer. That's pretty, isn't that? Wow. That is really pretty. Wow. Okay, I'm a big fan of that. The Tatcha one does something similar, but it is so hydrating and it does break, and you do have to kind of spread it out, that I don't love to use it over foundation. I would use it before as a highlighter. But that looks really pretty. So anyway, long story short, you can use these as a little, you know, touch up throughout the day if your makeup starts to come off on your nose, maybe a little under eyebrow highlight, something like that. But this is really pretty. I like that as a matte highlighter. It gives a really beautiful finish to the skin. Oh yeah. All right, so you know my obsession with the Hourglass blushes. And again, if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I have been using these religiously. These are the new Kevyn Aucoin blushes. The proper name is the Neil Blush. Yeah, it's just called the Neil Blush. This one is in Pink Sands, which I wear the most. And this one is in Rose Cliff, which I wear like more for nighttime. I love that they kind of have a little bit more of a bronzy feel to it. They go from more matte to more shimmery. So same, this one goes a little bit more shimmery. So both ends are more shimmery. This one, not so much. I love these blushes. I love them almost as much as I love the Hourglass blushes. I can't leave them behind. I now pack 12 different blushes for some unknown reason. I've been reaching for these now, and I just think they're beautiful. And what I do is I just do a quick little swipe like this on a big fluffy brush, and then I just go right on the high points of the face. I will say that that Hourglass Fluid Retoucher dries down really nicely. It does not stay tacky or sticky, so I totally get why they have said it's a retoucher, because it dries down very, very nicely. I'm a huge fan of that product. Love it. Look at that blush, you guys. I'm sorry. It looks like this lit from within. It's very youthful to me. It's very, very much a like summer, you know, cheek color. I think that it just is so perfect for especially anyone that is starting to have kind of aging on the skin. And I also feel that these would be really great for people with textured skin. They don't have enough luminization or luminizing powder or properties to them to really start to show that texture. So in my opinion, I think even textured acne prone skin could wear this, as well as anybody with deep fine lines, anything like that, more mature skin. I just think that they're beautiful. They give a very healthy, radiant glow. You can build up the coverage in pigment. That's the difference between these and the Hourglass. Hourglasses, you can definitely just use a light hand and get a very light pigmentation, but they are jam-packed full of pigmentation. They're very, very vibrant, beautiful colors. These are meant to be more buildable. So you can just do something like light wash like this, or you can just kind of go crazy and build it up. You can use them with a little bit more of a detailed brush, a smaller brush, I don't know, whatever you want to do, and just kind of hit the cheek, you know, the apples of the cheeks. Oh, I just love this. And then you just get, see how that gets that way? A little too much right now, but you know what I'm saying, guys. All right, so that is those blushes. Look how pretty they are. All right, so my final thoughts. I think that all of these products are so, so beautiful. I feel that the powder is absolutely worth the splurge, absolutely. I also feel that the blushes, the Milani ones are more sparkly. So in my opinion, they're less refined, they're less modern, and they're a little less, well, you know, they're just a little bit more, bigger particles of glitter on them, but they are so, so beautiful. But I feel that these are absolutely worth the splurge. If you were thinking about getting an Hourglass powder blush, go ahead or try these, because these are fantastic. They're going to be perfect for summer. I absolutely love the Pearl by Tatcha. I do. I think it's a fantastic product. I think it's definitely, like, I've been using it every single day, so I now kind of feel like I can't live without it. I definitely love the way it makes my under eyes look. It gives me very good anti-aging ingredients in it. I think it's more of a product with somebody that cannot find the right combination between a little bit of pigmentation and some eye cream benefits, or someone that is minimalistic that wants to really give just a very natural, maybe somebody that can't wear makeup on a daily basis or has problems with wearing makeup, or just wants a light wash of something. I think the Tatcha is worth an investment if you're that way. If you're going to wear concealer and maybe you have had problems with concealer creasing or you use too much, that might be worth the investment. So that's kind of my take on the Pearl. This I really like. I really, really do. I love it for that kind of matte highlighter. I love that it comes in 6 shades. But I don't feel that it's as necessary, but if you are looking for an under eye brightening treatment, any of these two will be fantastic, and I definitely think that supporting these brands is a great way to go. I also just think that they're just really high quality products. They're gonna do what they say, they're gonna last a long time. So to me, all of these products are absolutely like Elle approved, if that's what I can say. I absolutely would go out and purchase them, but if you have not found a powder that you are obsessed with, you'll know why it's been sold out on Sephora since it came out. It's so, so good. So I guess that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys kind of were able to navigate whether you guys should splurge on these products or not. But you know, I have so much fun doing this. So thank you guys so, so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Mwah. Bye, you guys. Now, if you stay to the end, you're probably wondering, did she forget to talk about the Becca powder? No, I didn't. I just saved it to the end to see if, you know, the people that wait till the very end get a little tidbit of extra. So I'm going to give you my opinion on the Becca powder, the hydrating powder. I really, really liked it. I thought it was beautiful to set the under eyes. Again, it is not going to give you any brightness. It's definitely more of just a setting powder. It is not super translucent. I mean, everybody from probably very, very fair to probably a medium skin tone could be, you know, could get away with it. It wouldn't show up. Deeper skin tones, I necessarily don't think that, but they have so many other powders for that. But I really, really enjoy the powder. It feels really good on the skin. It definitely feels cooling to the skin. If you have super dry under eyes and none of the powders I've ever recommended work for you, that might be a great way to go and try that for the under eyes. Am I going to go run out and buy it? Unfortunately, no. It's just not something that I need because I have my Hourglass powders. So, so maybe take that for what that's worth. I really do like the powder though, and I think it's a great, I'm so glad they came out with it because I think it can really help a lot of people with finally, you know, getting that under eye setting powder that is hydrating and not kind of, you know, cakey looking. So anyway, thanks again for staying to the end. I'll see you guys in the next one.